The amount of pain and suffering he went through before becoming one of the biggest names in hip-hop history is crazy. He was still ready to get his hands dirty to avenge his loved ones, and the money would only push him closer to his goal. All the way back in 2014, Durk even told DJ Vlad how he's already lost over 20 to 30 friends to the streets.
How many of your friends do you think you lost to violence? You know?
Like 20.
20 friends?
I think like 20.
Not 20 people you knew, 20 actual friends.
Yeah, like 20, 30 people.
But things would only get worse in 2014. Perhaps the turning point that made Durk's life darker than anyone could imagine. Growing up with just his mother present, Durk and his siblings were struggling to survive. He says the worst part of being broke was not having anything to eat, so Durk would hop off the porch at a young age, repping the Lamron BDs or Black Disciples, who were heavily into it with the GDs or Gangster Disciples. Unfortunately, early in Durk's music career, he would face his most devastating loss yet, this loss being the death of his cousin Nuski. Only a few days after signing to Durk's newly formed rap collective OTF, Nuski or OTF Nunu, was shot dead while chilling in Durk's car. In the song Try Me, he mentions seeing his cousin bleed and how he damn near lost it. And then in the song We Ball with Booka 600, he talks about how he saw his cousin die in his face, and that Durk's auntie is still mad at him, so he gave her a break. But the break has been so long, she started to think that he's fake. Watching your cousin die before your eyes is enough to scar you forever, but being blamed for it by his mother is something that follows Durk to this day. Allegedly, Nuski's killer was none other than the gravedigger of Chicago, 051 Melly. Melly was a GD from the 051 Young Money set, infamous for the work he put in the streets rather than the music scene. Nuski's death was rumored to be in retaliation for the death of Lil Mark. Lil Mark was a rapper from Yo 51 Young Money, known to be at war with Lamron and other affiliated gangs. In 2014, Lil Mark dropped the track No Competition, a remix to Lil Durk's song Competition, where he continually disses Lil Durk's OTF crew. Just days after dropping the diss track, Lil Mark was gunned down at a bus stop, allegedly by Lil Durk's close friends King Von, T-Roy, and D-Rose. Durk would even visit the same bus stop where Mark was killed, calling it a very special place.
Bus stop, man. Hey, this bus stop right here, though. This a real famous place. You hear me? This is a real famous place, B. Hey, this bus stop, this is a real famous place, B. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Free my nigga T.
Mubu Crump, who had a bitter falling out with OTF and was a close friend of Melly, had his own response for Lil Durk, taking it as far as going to the place where Nuski was killed and asking if they had an order for Nuski, with his meal being what he called a Chino burger.
Hey, y'all got that order for Nuski? Chino burger. Chino burger. Yeah, y'all got it? Hey, right? Oh, thank you. Oh, Bill. What's up? Y'all with that OTLK shit? Oh, man. Hey, this motherfucker bogus as hell, man. I'm with the nigga that did. He don't want to be on camera, though. They fucked my boy up. Right here, you feel me? Historic events. Y'all know I'm gonna bring y'all around this shit. Historic events. Huh, wish a nigga would play with me, boy. I look like Nuski.
Not only was this a direct diss at Nuski, but also Durk's former manager Chino. The police still haven't figured out what happened with Chino, but some say that, yet again, Melly would be the trigger man. With this all going down just a year after Nuski's death. Melly even started dissing Chino, talking about how he's enjoying a Chino burger.
Some motherfuckers remember what you did. Just like me a piece.
Yeah, Chino burger. That's what they said.
Get the fuck out of here.
My son just said Chino burger.
Damn, was that Buddha?
What's wild is that Lil Durk said in an interview with DJ Vlad that he was on the phone with Chino just 10 minutes before it all happened.
Well, I mean, you really recently had a really bad loss.
Yeah.
OTF, Chino.
Shit, I was sick. Like, stuff like that type of stuff happen, bro. It hit you so hard, you be confused, really, like, hell no, this shit ain't real. You know what I'm saying? That's how you would look at it, because I had just talked to him.
Like, how long ago did you talk to him? Like, how before it actually happened?
Like, 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
10.
It was in 2018 when Durk would lose another family member, as his cousin Baby D was gunned down in the south side of Chicago with another man. This was not just any random person, but Lil Durk's blood brother, Dthang. Dthang would be shot in the leg, but luckily survived the shooting. At the time, Lil Durk was gaining a huge buzz around his name in the music scene, constantly in the spotlight and his tracks taking over the charts. But while his career reached new heights, The things going on behind the scenes only turned him into a bigger threat. Having lost so many people close to him, Nuski, Chino, Baby D, and many more, made it impossible for him to leave it all in the past. But little did we know, Durk was actively funding a deadly and vicious gang war in the streets of Chicago, specifically mentioning that whoever killed his cousin, Durk's gonna pay his guys to make sure he dies slow, in his song, Die Slow. And that's exactly what happened. Just 1 month after he dropped the song, 051 Melly was shot dead at a house party in the south side of Chicago, more specifically the 6100 block of St. Lawrence Avenue, which is home to Jarrow City and Taekwondo World members. This is when Durk mentioned seeing the one that killed his blood, laying in blood, and now he can finally rest. Not long after, Dthang would go to Twitter to claim that anyone who shot him is no longer alive to tell the story, with people thinking this could be about the time when Dthang and Baby D were shot by Melly. Despite the near-death situation, Dthang was still actively in his hood, until the 6th of June 2021 when tragedy struck. Lil Durk's blood brother Dthang was at a strip club called Club O, which is in the far south side of the Chicago area in a city called Harvey. Allegedly, Dthang would get into an altercation with a Gutta Gang / Dump Street member, Gutta Gang Denim, a gang Dthang would be seen regularly dissing on social media. Chaos broke out, and multiple shots were fired. Dthang would ultimately get shot in the head and be pronounced dead at the scene, with a nearby police officer also getting caught in the crossfire and hit in the leg. Others claim that Dthang was killed for bragging about putting money on the head of FBG Duck.
OTF Dthang paid $5,000 for FBG Duck's location?
Oh yeah, the guy sent it to his baby mama, Teasy. He sent it to his baby mama, the cash app. He sent it that he killed Duck, that he got him killed, that he sent it all to him, and he stayed out there after that, Vlad. He stayed on the scene. That's why his Duck was on the ground, man. We watching Duck fight for his life. He was in the crowd. Him and the other guy was in the crowd watching Duck fight for his life, man. They deserve to go down.
But anyway, being in a club filled with GDs wasn't exactly a safe choice for Dthang. Gutta Gang Denim would make a post on Instagram where he is seen at the club with the caption saying, "I go to the club with it on me. I seen him die trying to run to the car," with fans filling his comments asking why he killed Dthang. For Durk, this wasn't just another loss. This loss would change the outcome of his life forever. In the song Jonah with Kanye West, Durk raps about how he's dropping his location for his ops to pull up on him in efforts to retaliate, and that he's not scared to die, but his brother dying was his biggest fear. Not long after his death, Durk would seemingly be orchestrating for his guys to do anything they can to make sure his killers were dead, using his riches from music to put into a deadly war. On the 10th of July 2021, 2 men were riddled with bullets at a Clark gas station in Englewood. These 2 men were 33-year-old Jarmy Hawkins and 19-year-old Jalen Anderson, better known in the streets as Gutta Gang Oil and Gutta Gang J-Ski. Lil Durk's dad, Big Durk, would go on to talk about the pain he was going through, mourning the death of his oldest son, but claimed that there won't be any revenge taking place in Dthang's name.
If I'm telling these youngsters to stop shooting and killing one another, if I'm telling these youngsters to don't use revenge as the tool, put down a gun, then I got to be the example of that same talk. So when this has happened to me, I got to show them by my own example that we ain't gonna do no revenge, ain't gonna be no retaliation. And I actually, and as sad as it may seem, something I didn't even talk to his mother about, is that the guys who shot him, the incidents that he was in, I would like for them to be in CRED program so we can change their life.
Coincidentally, after the murders of Oil and J-Ski, Lil Durk would post a picture of his brother with the caption, "Do it for Dthang," and rap in the song, "Fuck my cousin," that if anyone who was there when my brother died, they are dying too, and that they should just ask his ops from the west side because the next day they were down 2 members. In the song Survivor, he says that whoever didn't retaliate for his brother's death, he doesn't mess with them anymore, then goes on to say that he's gonna catch a Dump Street member and slump all of them. But whether you knew it or not, these 2 murders were just the start of Lil Durk's revenge. On the 27th of January 2022, the situation grew more intense when 24-year-old gangster disciple leader Stefan Mack was killed after leaving a youth peace center in the Roseland neighborhood. 2 men would wait outside in a stolen car for Stefan to come out of the youth center. Around 3 p.m., Stefan would leave to go to his car. This is when he was met by 2 masked gunmen who ultimately opened fire, chasing him across the parking lot with rifles. Stefan would try to escape, but sadly collapsed on the floor before getting run over. The shooters then abandoned the stolen car, leaving behind their phones, and fled the scene on foot. Less than a month after the murder of Stefan Mack, Durk would drop his hit song Aha, where he rapped about how he's been slow ever since the death of his brother Dthang, and that people think Durk's just a singer, but he doesn't care what they think, as he's already got one of their friends shot. It would later come out that one of Stefan's killers, Mike City AJ, real name Anthony Montgomery Wilson, was in fact in the music video, with the second person involved being Marley, real name Preston Powell. In October 2023, both men were charged with murder for hire by the feds, as they claimed the two were in contact with Lil Durk, even dropping his name in a message asking if Lil Durk sent that money. The feds also claimed that Lil Durk was, and still is, offering money to anyone that kills those responsible for his brother's murder, and going as far as paying money to any gangster disciple that is killed. This paperwork was released in the lead-up to Durk's detention hearing in the Lil Pab case, which was an effort to avenge his so-called evil twin, King Von. As most of you may know by now, on August 19th, 2022, rapper Quando Rondo and his cousin Lil Pab were at a gas station in Los Angeles when a car pulled up, firing multiple shots that missed Quando, but instead took his cousin Pab's life. This was just a week before Pab was scheduled to attend court for RICO charges. Reports claimed that Lil Durk was, in fact, the one that put out a $1 million bounty on the head of Quando Rondo, even booking flights for his shooters using OTF credit cards, specifically ordering them not to book any flights under his name. After tracking down Quando's location, they rented out cars with fake plates and tracked his car down to a gas station where the murder took place. To make matters worse, it happened in broad daylight with innocent bystanders capturing Quando Rondo screaming, "No!" knowing that his cousin would not make it out alive.
SUV. Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
This is when Durk would post all over social media bragging about how he slid for Von, and that people don't be saying slide for Von anymore. If you haven't already and want to see more about the Lil Pab case, I've done a video explaining all the events leading up to it and after.